Just before you do that.
What up, dog? The cameraman's back, blessing with another presence.
You and your blessings.
Man, it's like the second time in 3 days. What are you doing, man? You opened your schedule up for me.
Trying to get this footage for the people.
Let's give it a good old stretch. Oh. After 250 freaking deadlifts yesterday, still feels good.
So I'm sitting here with Mr. Psycho. I left him for 1 day and he lost his freaking mind yesterday.
Yeah, I did kind of.
I log on to see the video because I wasn't here, obviously. And I'm like, what the are you doing?
It's just weird, man. Like I couldn't warm up with the 5 sets of 10. And then it just ended up being more and more and more and more. And the more I went, the more it kind of released. I'm still kind of sore between like here and all the way up here, like all the whole erectors. But the more blood you put in, the better it felt. So, by the way, like, I mean, you know, but they don't. I didn't just like roll out of bed and just start doing these deficit deadlifts. I mean, that would be suicide. So I did some normal deadlifts, warm up a little bit, because that range of motion that I'm getting here, man, it's advanced. You don't want to just roll out of bed and just start doing deficit pulls, man, because that's gonna murder you. But anyway.
Keep doing your shit.
Yeah. It's really lightweight as well, so, you know, even if you screw up a little bit, you ran a little bit, it's not gonna snap your spine. That's the key, man. Like, it's lightweight. Lightweight. Oh man.
The thing that gets me about it is this, like, the folks out there who are watching this video, like, they don't know 2 days ago when I was filming with you, like, we stopped the video and then you kept going for like another hour and a half. That's why what I saw yesterday, I'm like, 25 reps of what?
I know.
25 sets of what?
That was also weird. That was kind of like spur of the moment stuff.
Yeah, I can tell.
Well, we finished. I did the PR and the deadlift, and then I did some squats. And then to finish that video, I was like, yeah, I'm done now, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, I might do a little bit of quads or some, you know, glute work, which I ended up doing a bit of glute work. But then I ended up doing some high box squats.
Yeah.
And that's also the same thing. Like I did some glute work. I did single leg thrusts, hip thrusts. And I was kind of happy with the kind of glute activation, but I don't know. I just felt like I needed a bit more like weight on it. And so I started thinking, if I could sit on a box like this high, actually it was this thing that set it off. If I could sit on a box this high, like if you think about it, so I'm vertical right now. This position is very much like, if you took my position here and just put it horizontal, it's like a hip thrust. You're doing this. I'm just vertical now. And so I thought, well, that's a really cool way to load the hip thrust vertically. Just put some weight on your back and just stand up with it. And I ended up doing like 5 sets of freaking 10 with that. It was 120 kilos on top. But yeah, that probably contributed to my back fatigue as well. I mean, when you set a PR, you shouldn't be really doing all those extra things, but Is that 3?
3 sets.
I think that's 3 sets.
Mm.
I'll do 2 more. I won't be stupid today.
Yeah, because squat every day has turned into deadlift every day.
I know. But
Let's see the ATG depth.
I'm using a bottle as a counterbalance, but the hardest thing for me is squatting like this without a weight. When you put a weight on your back, you can kind of like lean into it and balance yourself, and but this shit helps. This helps. I don't know what the mechanism is, but I think it's because you stretch the hamstring in a loaded position. Just warm up the posterior chain. Because if you think about it, right, like people talk about doing a hip stretch like this, you know, before squatting.
Mm.
It makes no sense to me, because like you're not extending your hip in the squat, you're flexing your hip in the squat. So why the hell would you be stretching this way? You got to stretch the other way, right? Because when you're squatting, you're hip flexing, and so all the muscles at the back need to be long, not the ones at the front. The ones at the front need to be short, right? Yeah, all these guys, man, they're like, oh yeah, you know, stick your leg up and stretch this way. It's like, you want that shit to be short. The other stuff needs to be long. I don't know. So that's why like this stuff to me works. Deadlifting works. Like, you know, some days I used to like walk in here, you know, after whatever volume the days before, and I'd be like, man, I can't squat, I can't do anything. I'm walking around like I'm just really stiff. And then it just occurred to me, let's just test my general range of motion. And on those days I realized that I'd walk out and I'd just do a hamstring stretch just to reach this. And I'd get here and I'm like, well, this is it. And I'm like, is that correlated? Is this poor range of mobility here is correlated to my really poor squatting ability or squatting range of motion? I just worked out that it did. So on the days that I'd come in and I'd be able to do this, better squatting.
So is that the thought process behind why you did so much volume yesterday?
Yeah, so I woke up after that PR day and I was just, my back was bound up, everything, like the whole back of me, so stiff, just couldn't get it moving. I thought, man, there's no point going to the squat when I can't even get into the squat. So I just thought, well, if I'm gonna get into the squat, let's really warm up. And this is 40 kilos and I just did a lot of volume. That's basically the thought.
Makes sense. So this is where it starts, eh?
Yep, it's time in the hole. Prepare for some serious range of motion. Oh man.
So just so some of you guys know out there, we saw a few comments, people like, oh man, the Evo. So I ran it past the chief executive here, to which he replied, no gimmicks, this is a weightlifting channel, but later on maybe we can sneak a peek, and, you know, if we don't tell him, maybe he'll allow it.
It's not that special.
Yeah, you keep talking.
Well, so if somebody comments, and there's 100 people that like the comment, I like that video. About that. I mean, I'm a car guy as well, but like, you know, this is the majority of people on here are weightlifting dudes, but I love cars, man. I'm happy to talk about Evos as well. But there needs to be a whole bunch of you, man. You know, I'm not making a video out of the context of the channel for one fella. Maybe I can open up another channel.
One fella?
Is it 3?
It's more than 3.
If there's heaps of fellas, then I don't know. Open up a channel about the Evo. The yellow Evo. It squats every day.
The yellow Evo every day.
Evo every day.
It's popping again. last.
Sounds like you could take a bit more today.
Oh yeah, I was gonna tell you that. Like, I get this. So 2 times ago, I'm here, 330 rack hold.
Yeah.
Two days ago, I'm here, deadlift PR.
Yeah.
Every time I'm here, and you're always like so casual. You're like, I don't know, should I? Like, I don't know, maybe you should.
Because you time your stuff perfectly, man. You know when I feel well.
Ah, please.
Today's not one of those days that I feel poppy.
While he loads his little plates, guys, check this out. Pan. Oh, sneak peek. Sneak peek. It's a story for another time, but we'll also tell the guys how in your younger days you were quite partial to an S15 or two.
Or two, yeah. Those were the days.
That's what's this 100 on the bar.
Can't fit babies in the back of the S15.
Mm-hmm.
I had 2 babies. I had 2 S15s though. Hey baby, do you want to drive the other S15?
Come on, focus. It's what I'm always weary of, is like putting you off, distracting you, increasing the time between your reps. At the end of the day, this is serious business. This ain't no joke for you.
So I won't be repping anything out today. Back's not feeling. I still have DOMs in the back. So, sounds like whenever I have a deadlift all out effort, probably sets my all out squat effort 3 days away.
Mm.
That's how long it takes. That's the kind of thing that I struggled with 6 or 7 months ago when I last deadlifted. And then before that, it was like another 3 or 4 months. Every time you do the deadlift, you're screwed. So taxing. But what I learned is that deadlift it's important, man. For hamstring, glute, just general posterior chain mobility, you have to do it, man.
I'm surprised that you didn't do it for so long, I'll be honest with you. It's one of your stronger lifts, obviously. Always has been. You used to do it quite a bit, and then you stopped it for a very long time.
Well, before the squat every day, well, maybe people don't even know that, I basically went probably, I want to say 9 months without squatting. Probably 9 months. And this is where people like come out of woodworks and they're like, oh, but I saw a 180 kilo squat from you. Yeah, that's like way before the squat every day. There was a time, probably, well, like 2 years ago now, maybe 2.5 years ago, that I was like upset with the squat. My mobility was shit. I couldn't squat properly, and I was like, the hell with it. I'm gonna put all my recovery points in the deadlift, and I just basically deadlifted a whole bunch. I didn't squat at all. So I've gone from one extreme to the other.
And now you're doing both every day.
So I've gone like basically 9 months deadlift, not every day. I deadlifted like every other day. No squatting to squatting every day without deadlifting, and so I'm extreme like that, man. Like.
No, but the interesting thing to me is not that variation. Here, do a set or whatever. Do your rep.
Do a pause, baby.
I'll tell everyone. The interesting thing to me is like the variation, right? So this is what people don't understand. A lot of people like, oh, so squat every day, so is all you do squat? And then you're like, no, man, I do other stuff too. It's like, I'm looking around here. Look at this. There's a keg here. Now, I haven't seen you use that for a while, but it's there. Kettlebells, that barbell. I don't know what's going on here. I've never seen you touch that. These cans, I'm sure they're full of some sort of liquid and they're heavy as hell to pick up. Another barbell. This is like there's like a 5 kilo dumbbell there which hasn't been touched in about 10 years. It's like people are like, oh, you need weightlifting shoes. I'm like, he's got those. Like,
oh yeah,
So people can't, I don't know, like maybe it doesn't come across, they can't tell you're a proper gym junkie.
Romaleo 2s, I think. Nike Romaleos.
Mm.
So, spent a lot of time in them. And then I explained to a couple of the guys in the comments, the reason why I went away from that is because that hip pain, I developed TFL pain, I was kind of searching for answers, and then when I one day took out that variable out of the mix, I felt really good on that day, and since then I've kind of stayed away from that. The heel kind of was just tipping me forward, and I don't know, man. Don't know.
Whatever, the point is you'll probably go back to them someday. Like, it always varies. It always varies with you.
I just don't want to be, I don't know, I am pretty extreme in my methodologies and my philosophies, but you don't want to hold on to things too much. Like if there's a possibility that thing is causing you harm, then you have to be able to kind of be, aware enough to kind of let that go. And so I questioned everything, man.
So here we go.
Yeah.
So the thing everyone is saying is causing you harm, squat every day.
Well, yeah, I guess people think that, but it has to be an internal process, right? Like, I have to be, be the ones, exactly. And I this is the thing, like, it's hard for me to tell people, but internally I know squat every day is not the culprit. Like, it's feeling really good.
All right, we'll get on with it then.
Get on with it, mate. Not talking. Everyone likes to talk. Everyone likes to squat every day. Get a squat, man. I'm gonna try and pause this baby as well. Hopefully the back stays strong. We need the back to stay strong.
Good lift, bro.
Felt good, but felt heavy.
Yeah, well, after what you've done the last few days,
Yeah.
I would imagine walking feels heavy.